couch at the second largest Whole Foods in the United States, and I did do a fact check on that today. I asked them here. Yeah, it's the third largest one in the U.S. It is 97 degrees out here in Chicago today, so we're inside, enjoying the air conditioning. So I'm here with Healthy Jasmine Jefferali. So Jasmine, also known as Healthy Jasmine, has her master's in public health from Benedictine University. You guys know I'm just not good at introducing people by now, right? She also has her exercise science bachelor's from Southern Illinois University. She's a lifestyle and wellness consultant in fitness, wellness, and nutrition. She is a personal trainer as well. She's an expert in digestive support and wellness, as well as women's health and digestive issues. And she is an essential oil educator. She is the creator of the former app Snack Smart. She has been featured on Chicago Parent, or in Chicago Parent, it's a magazine.
Yeah,
she's been on several Chicagoland television stations, including WGN, ABC, Fox. She used to be a contributor for The Examiner, and she's also written 10 times in the Chicago Tribune. Okay? I think we finally got through that. So anyway, tell everyone, why did you go gluten-free?
Well, my gluten-free journey started about, I would say, almost 13 years ago. I was a chronic migraine sufferer. I had fatigue. I had, there too.
That's all right. I had it totally flipped around.
I had migraines. So migraines, fatigue. I was feeling really bloated, and I had some digestive issues. And somebody I had worked with at the health club that I was working at, I was managing at, suggested I see this naturopathic doctor for possible food sensitivities. And 13 years ago, you're like, food sensitivities? What in the world? Nobody knows about it. Like, even 13 years ago, nobody heard of food sensitivities. So, to her advice, I did, and was diagnosed with a gluten, soy, and dairy intolerance, and decided to go cold turkey for going gluten-free, soy-free, and dairy-free. And within 6 weeks, my migraines went away. I was off of my reflux meds. I had no idea there was a relation between soy, dairy, and reflux. I also, my fatigue went away. My migraines went away. I had more energy. My bloating subsided. And it was interesting because I cheated the first 7 days that I got off the gluten with my friend, and I had a migraine within 24 hours. That was my big aha moment to the gluten issue and migraines. And the interesting thing that she told me, and I always love to share this tidbit of information, is that she told me in Chinese medicine, the head and the stomach are on the same chi line. So when you go get treated through a Chinese medicine practitioner, they always look to their stomach to treat what's going on up here. So anxiety, depression, personality disorders, headaches, migraines. So what goes in here also affects your mind, or what's going on in your head.
So it's like your second brain.
It is, right.
Your second
yeah,
brain.
Exactly. So it's your second brain. And a lot of people don't really realize that now we know that 80% of our serotonin is produced in our small intestine. And our serotonin is like the feel-good hormone, so we need that production to actually help, us to get to sleep at night, to help maintain anxiety issues or depression and things like that. Not maintain it, but to help subside it. So if our gut is disrupted, right, from the foods that we eat, it's also going to affect our mind. And we know this to be true. Have you ever been hangry?
Yep.
You've been hangry. I've been hangry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my son is hangry over there. So we know that to be true, that what we eat also affects our mind.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, okay. Everyone always says, well, my grandmother ate it, or the older people, we've been eating wheat our whole life. We're fine. What's this big hype about this gluten-free thing now,
Yeah, well, here's the thing, okay? So wheat has only been around for about 4,000 or 5,000 years. So it hasn't been around very long, as long as we've been around, okay? So it's not the original part of our diet. But while our ancestors were able to digest it, and the reason why they were better able to digest it, because they soaked the grains and then it was sprouted. So when you soak and sprout your grains, it is actually easier to digest. And then what happened is that the industrialized nation kind of technology started producing, you know. So instead of soaking and sprouting, we then cut the wheat and then just processed it. So then we started getting all of our breads and things like that. But then also more industrialization came around, and now we actually add a lot of excess pesticides to it. So what happens now is that we're not necessarily gluten intolerant, we're pesticide intolerant. Because those pesticides are being sprayed on our crops is what's disrupting our ability to digest the grains properly. Because here's the thing, like Europe does not take any of our GMO grains. They don't take anything that's been sprayed on. So it's actually banned in Europe. They don't take our stuff in. So when a lot of people travel to Europe who are gluten intolerant in America could actually eat gluten in Europe and eat so freely without any of the digestive health issues.
Yes, very, very interesting. Yeah.
So we now have messed with nature. We're messing with nature more so than ever. And our bodies are still very primitive to how it reacts and responds to food.
So we have these anti-nutrients in our diet now that are keeping our body from absorbing the nutrients we need, and then our bodies go all haywire because we don't feel good.
Exactly. And here's the thing, people are like, well, we have more people today. We have a bigger population. Well, we don't need to feed our world with Doritos and Cheetos and processed foods. We need to feed our world with real food, with real nutrients. But we've become a society of convenience. And I get that. I'm a mom as well. But to take the time out to actually nourish how we feed ourselves and how we feed our family is important. It's either going to contribute to disease or contribute to your healing process. And that's a choice that we have to make.
Okay, so I forgot to explain first what gluten is. It's anything wheat, barley, or rye. And you think, oh, we're just not going to eat the bread or the pasta at the grocery store. But it's in 80, maybe 90% of the items here at the grocery store. It's shockingly in everything. So you want to tell them more about that?
Yeah, so gluten actually comes from the Latin term to gluten. So gluten is a binder that we see in our breads and pasta. Helps bind things together and give it that nice squishy, spongy-like texture that we really like and crave. And so that's what gluten is. So gluten is found in wheat, rye, barley, and some oats. Because now oats are technically gluten-free, but because of cross-contamination in the mills, they are not. So you have to find gluten-free oats. But here's the interesting thing about oats. Oats is like one molecular structure away from wheat. So they're very similar. So a lot of people that have gluten issues often cannot digest wheat. So that is technically what gluten is. It binds the foods together to give it that squishy, spongy feeling, to help it rise and give it that texture that we all crave and desire. And what happens is that it's so processed that our body does not know how to digest it.
Okay, so I always tell people things that have gluten. Why would tea have gluten in it?
It's tea. Yeah, it's so interesting. So gluten is in everything. So gluten is like, so they kind of use gluten as a binder or as a thickener in things, but also as a filler as well. So it kind of keeps things together as well from separating in the process. So yeah, you're going to find gluten in a lot of things, and being an avid label reader is going to be really, really important if you decide to go on this gluten-free world. And I would say 85 to 90% of us do not properly digest gluten.
And then, so why would it be found in like things like meat or cheese?
Well, they're using it in meat and cheese because one, it's a filler. It's that filler that's going to help or bind it in the meats and the cheese, right? It's going to help keep it together. Also, part of the problem is that our cows that eat the grains, right? They're eating soybean, they're eating corn, they're eating wheat, grains. So again, they're eating a diet that's not natural to them. They're meant to eat off the grass and the hay. They're not eating the diet that's natural to them. So you're going to get some sort of very minute particles in that. So that's why sometimes some people like celiac disease have a hard time with cheese and certain meat products because they're going to find it because it glues certain meats together, like sausages and things like that.
Okay, so I don't endorse Gatorade, but why would it be in like Gatorade, sports drinks, Kool-Aid, that kind of thing?
Again, so here you are. If you're going to find it in those drinks, it's because they are, again, it is like a binder to it. So, yeah, and the dyes.
Dyes.
Yeah, we're talking about food dyes. You know,
That's
a whole other topic.
It's in food dyes, yes.
And a lot of people don't realize, like, here's the thing, like, yellow dye strips zinc out of your body. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're going on a little tangent about food dyes, so yellow dye actually leaches zinc out of your body. So food dyes are not good for us either. So, yeah, you're going to find it in the dyes and preservatives.
Well, I was just having this conversation with my sister about food dyes the other day. She said my nephew had ADHD, and I said, well, take the dyes out of his diet. You know, it's creating this hyperactivity in kids. These kids shouldn't be having it. So, yeah. Anything else that might surprisingly have gluten that a person wouldn't suspect to have that you can think of?
Yeah, your personal care products, right? Shampoos, conditioners, lotions, might have wheat extract or barley extract. So you got to make sure you read your cosmetic labels as well. It's going to be in certain makeups. It's going to be in sunscreens. So again, it is used as everything as a binder to help keep that substance together, to keep it from separating.
So let me make this clear. People think, but I'm not eating it. Okay, as a nurse, there's so many different ways that things get into our bloodstream. It can go through your mouth. It can go into your muscle, your vein, transdermal through your skin. That's what this is. You can inhale, you know?
Right.
There's so many ways. So you're still absorbing that into your bloodstream, and it will still affect you. So, well, this has been very informing and very interesting today. Thank you for meeting me here at Whole Foods on the fly. I'm meeting everyone on this trip on the fly, guys, and it's just worked out so great. And we've got some really great and interesting and informational interviews. And so, thank you for joining. I will post it to YouTube later. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Stop it.
End.
Oh, there you go.